Hi, I'm Erin from Cottage Designs by Erin on Etsy, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to appropriately costume an antique doll. As mentioned in my other videos, I've been costuming dolls for the last 20 years, and I just started costuming antique dolls probably in the last maybe 10. I started with American Girl dolls, and then I costumed vintage dolls. And then from vintage dolls, I moved into antique dolls. And antique doll costumes are by far the hardest to make, and they take the most time. So I have a few of my dolls on the table and a few of my costumes. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about what I know about these particular outfits. Okay, this is one of my favorite dolls, and she is an Armand Masi, or Masi, however you want to say it, doll from the 1800s. Armand Masi made two mold numbers, 370, which is from the 1800s, and 390, which is a turn of the century doll. She's an 1800s doll, and I have made this costume for her. Her bodice is 100% cotton calico. It is lined with muslin. She features a pleated skirt, okay? And I made her bonnet. Now, I've had mixed reviews on the bonnet. Some people tell me it's too big for her. I did not make this pattern. I just simply followed the pattern instructions as it read. The bonnet does give her a very tall, commanding look that she otherwise would not have. This doll is only 20 inches tall, and she's one of my favorite to work with because she is a tabletop doll. When they get larger than 20 inches, sometimes they can really be a bear to handle. So her dress features a mutton sleeve, which is the puffy top with the straight bottom. And I've used a calico on the top and a pinstripe on the bottom, which is very common in the 1800s to mix patterns on these dresses. Now, something you should know when costuming an antique doll, you cannot use modern fabrics. You're not going to use a polyester rayon. You're not going to use a nylon lace. Everything should be a man-made material that they would have actually used in the 1800s, like cotton, eyelet, velvet, wool. Okay, so those were the choices they had back then, and that's what the doll's costume should be made out of. Now, some real collectors only want 1800s outfits, which are becoming increasingly difficult to find because, for one thing, by now they're threadbare. Silk disintegrates, and so they're having to redress the dolls in a more stable material, which is where I come in. So this is an 18-inch doll dress form, and on this doll I have used 100% cotton upper and lower. I've used a real silk sash and these are called sleeve garters on the mutton sleeve, and you just tie this around the arm, and then you put the sleeve in place. It holds the sleeve where you want it, which keeps the puffiness in place. I have used genuine antique lace. This is also silk ribbon. So a real die-hard collector is going to want real silk and real man-made materials. Now, if they're just wanting a reproduction, they may not be so hardcore about it. Reproduction doll dresses can be very beautiful using modern materials. It gives you the look without giving you that huge price that would become associated with using real silk. 100% silk is running $30, $35 a yard. And so if they costume with the reproduction fabric, they get the same look for less money. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to reach down on the floor and pick up a larger doll. Okay, this is my best doll and my most expensive doll. She is a Kessner, and she is from 1870. She has her original human hair. These are her original eyes. She's closed mouth, and she's very large. She's about a 24, 25-inch doll. And she came to me from an auction estate sale, and she was wearing this exquisite, I'm trying to be very careful with her, last thing I want is for her to break. She was wearing this exquisite reproduction outfit. She is wearing a taffeta moire dress with nylon polyester lace, which normally you would not put on an antique doll. But the look is magnificent on her. And I think whoever made her outfit, which it was not me, but whoever made her outfit must have chosen these colors, because she arrived with real silk little shoes that had a leather sole, and they were mauve colored, a deep, deep mauve, and they had completely disintegrated because they are silk. I didn't even get them out because they're so rough to handle, they just completely fall apart in your hand. So as you can see, she's got a big, glorious pleated skirt with a big, nice bow. She has appropriate bloomers and stockings, and this beautiful bonnet, which I can turn around the back so you can see that. It's the back of her dress. She snaps in back, her dress snaps. Now, a lot of people, if you're going to put real buttons on the dress, then they want antique buttons only, which can be very, very costly. So I don't put buttons on my dresses. I put snaps on them, and I make sure that I attach them to the lining so that you cannot see them. Okay, I'm going to set her back down on the floor for just a second. Okay, she also has a midi braid trim on her dress. Whoever made that dress launched all out on it. Antique dolls come in all sizes. This is one of my smallest dolls, and she is a 10-inch, and she is also an Armand Masi, and she's a 300. I believe it says 300. Very, very tiny. Her dresses are difficult to make just because of the sheer scale of them, because on a 10-inch doll, by the time you shear this up, it's going to be probably 4 inches long. I have made her several dresses out of cotton, but poor little baby, I sell her dresses right off her little back, and so she's currently not clothed. All right, I'm going to show you my last doll. I have more, but I mean, I'm not getting them all out for you. This doll is from 1920, and she is an Adolf Wislienius. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is her original outfit that she would have gone to market in. It is all cotton. It features real roses made from silk sash, muslin skirt, petticoat, muslin pantaloons. And I don't ever costume this doll because I don't want to mess her up. Clearly, this is not her real hair. This is reproduction hair. But the detail on this outfit is just amazing. It has all this little soutache trim. And so I keep her just like she is, just basically to refer to. Now, when costuming dolls, there are all kinds of reference books out there. The doll costumer that I worked for told me to buy this book, which is called Antique Children's Fashions from 1880 to 1900. I cannot tell you the immense value that this book has. Say you have a doll from 1888 and you're not quite sure what kind of costume to make that doll. You can look in this book, and here is an actual legitimate catalog description of what a little girl would have worn in 1888. And not only does it have pictures, but it reads like this. This mode will develop particularly well in its combinations of materials and colors, and with pretty flowers and figured goods in vogue for some very unique and picturesque effects may be revealed. Let's see here. Let's see. Trimmings include flowers, ribbon. A dainty dress made up by this fashion is of shell pink and point-to-spray net with ruby velvet ribbons and lace edgings for grandeur. Okay, I don't know. Pattern comes in 5 sizes, little girl sizes 3 to 7. And so, let me zoom in on that. It shows you what that would look like. And so my little blue dress that I made, I kind of, took some ideas off of that. And I have done these ribbon sashes like this from side to side. And people are like, what are you doing? She's not in a Miss America pageant. Well, no. But when I make this style dress, I also take a picture of this catalog description and I post it with the listing so people can see what am I doing and why am I doing it. Okay, the next little dress is $18.95. For the present development of the dress, white crepon was used with lace insertion and baby ribbon for decoration. The straight full skirt extends to a becoming depth and is deeply hemmed at the bottom. The little dress is especially adapted to chalet, cashmere, flannel, gingham, cotton pericle, chambray, etc., and the best effect will be obtained if some contrasting material is used for the yoke. We had this pattern in 8 sizes for little girls from size 2 to 9 years of age. Okay, so this shows you the mutton sleeve, the pleated skirt, the contrast materials used. So this is just a wonderful, wonderful, valuable book. And it also has bonnets in it. So say you want to make the little doll bonnet. You don't want an early 1800s dress with a 1920s bonnet because it's from the wrong era. So it also gives you tips and tricks in here when costuming. It gives you pictures of dolls. And here's an example. It's quite beautiful. And one of the things it tells you is to look at the doll's coloring. I tend to like very high color dolls, both vintage and antique. I love them. They have a ruddy red complexion. I don't tend to like really super pale dolls, but the very pale dolls are the most popular. The Kessner I showed you earlier is very pale. She has a very white bisque look to her. But these other little girls that I have on the table all have a little red face. And it looks like they were just running outside and playing and maybe got a little flushed. And that is my favorite look. Dolls with a ruddy complexion look beautiful in peach. They're very pretty in hunter green. It's just like redheads. What sort of colors look good on redheads? Usually bright yellow, deep green, navy blue. But dolls that are very fair, like this little girl, she looks glorious in a pale blue, a lavender, a pink. So the coloring of the dress should match the coloring of the doll or contrast slightly to bring the coloring out. All right, so that's my video for today. I hope you learned some valuable lessons, such as materials used, materials not to use. It's more about what not to use when costuming antique dolls. This book is a wonderful asset. Again, here is it. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. My next video is probably going to go back to quilts. Thank you very much for watching me. Please subscribe to my channel. It'd be greatly appreciated.